Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to the Senior Deputy Rector of the Institute of Teacher Education Malaysia, Dr. ROSLI Binyaku, the Director of IBG Campus Ilmu Khas, Dr. FARIDAH binti YAKOB, the Deputy Director, Puan Azlina binti Ahmad, the Executive Dean of the School of Social Sciences, Nottingham Trent University, United Kingdom, Professor SARA OWEN, the Director of Nottingham Institute of Education, Dr. Chris Rolfe, heads of departments, heads of units, lecturers and students of IPG-KIK, all our viewers in Malaysia and Indonesia, and our friends from NTU UK who are watching this first edition of the Ilmu Khas International Academic Discourse Series, or better known as IKIADS, for the year 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, we have two interesting presentations today by lecturers from IPG-KIK and Nottingham Trent University, with the theme Healthy Lifestyles and Physical Inclusion. The Institute of Teacher Education Malaysia, better known as Ipgm, has always given IPG-KIK the fullest support to proceed with various activities we have organized with NTU thus far. This afternoon, we are honored to have with us today the Senior Deputy Rector of Ipgm, Dr. ROSLI Binyaku. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Dr. ROSLI to deliver his opening speech.
Very good morning to Director of IPG Campus Ilmu Khas, Dr. FARIDAH binti YAKOB, the Deputy Director, Puan Azlina binti Ahmad, and all those who are following this event in Malaysia. And a very good morning to the Director of Nottingham Institute of Education, Dr. Chris Rolfe, and to all of our friends in the United Kingdom. It is both an honor and a pleasure for me to say a few words in conjunction with the first edition of the Ilmu Khas International Academic Discourse Series, better known as IKIADS, for the year 2022. Before I continue my speech, I would like to convey the Rector's warmest regards and best wishes to each and everyone. Even though the collaboration between IPGM, IPG-KIK, and Nottingham Trent University has not been officially formalized through the signing of the MOU, it is heartening to note that the number of joint activities have already been organized. Two IKIADS seminars involving NTU were carried out on 26th of March and 4th of June in 2021. And the seminar were very well received. The presentation that centered on inclusive education were very practical and highly informative and would have greatly benefited the audience. In addition, a lecturer from IPG-KIK was also given the honor to speak at the NTU Digest seminar on 15th of December 2021. Congratulations to all of you. I've been made aware that more activities and programs that involve lecturers and student involvement are in the pipeline to further strengthen the bond between two institutions. This professional collaboration is a testament to the professionalism, goodwill, and respect that both institutions have for each other. Congratulations to both IPG-KIK and Nottingham Trent University UK, that very fruitful and beneficial collaboration which will enable lecturers and students to share professional experiences and knowledge on the variety of activities, topics, and interest areas. The third wave of the transformation of Teacher Education Institute of Malaysia focuses on gaining international recognition and widening international network. This novel endeavor will only be achieved through the collaboration and smart partnership with the educational institution and the organization overseas, such as this collaboration between IPG-KIK and Nottingham Trent University, United Kingdom. I'm very hopeful that this formal collaboration, which is centered on international knowledge exchange, human capital development, research and development, and the generation of projects and activities within the field of mutual interests will propel IPG, IK, Ipgm, and NTU to greater heights on the global platform. It is hoped that this collaboration will provide opportunities for both students and faculty members to explore potential new face-to-face, online and distant learning programs that will enrich and enhance the overall learning experience. I am certain that students and lecturers from both sides will gain valuable perspective related to the culture and societal nuances of the unique teaching learning environments found in both countries. Through this collaboration, we will be able to develop collaborative scholarship and research partnership aligned to areas of mutual interest, with scholars from both sides will engage in exploring areas of mutual interest that will greatly benefit both parties. It would also be used to explore opportunities for increasing knowledge exchange, particularly among the students and lecturers from both sides. Another area that would be looked at through this partnership is student and staff mobility that allowed both parties to get to discover and understand each other's culture and pedagogic practice better. IPG IK has been involved in a number of such programs before with students and staff of Queensland University of Technology and Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, being involved in a variety of school-based and community-based activities. It is also hoped that this collaboration will facilitate the engagement of scholars from both sides and divide to be fully committed to sharing experiences and expertise in the curriculum design and implementation. Ladies and gentlemen, IPGKIK is one of the earliest teacher training institute to be established in this country. It was known back then as a special teachers training institute when it was established in 1959. It has undergone several name changes but has nevertheless remained a pioneer in specialist area in teacher education, namely physical and health education, visual arts education, music education, and special education. This collaboration is indeed very timely as IPGKIK seeks to establish itself as a center of inclusive education by the year 2025 through its soon-to-be launched strategic development plan for the period 2022 to 2025. NTU, through its strong credential in the field of education and special education in the United Kingdom, can be an invaluable partner in supporting and helping IPGKIK realize the objective of becoming a training center of inclusive education. On behalf of Ipgm, I would like to thank and congratulate IPGKIK, NTU, and the organizing team on the successful hosting of IKIADS 1/2022. To the presenter, good luck in your presentation. Thank you for sharing your experience and expertise with all of us. To the Director of IPGKIK, Dr. FARIDAH, and the Director of Nottingham Institute of Education, NTU, Dr. Chris, and their respective teams, thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you are doing to ensure this collaboration remains alive, vibrant, and relevant. To all the participants of this event, my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rosalie. For any collaboration to succeed, we need committed partners. In this regard, I'm proud to say that the Institute of Education, Nottingham, Trent University, United Kingdom, has been an exceptional collaboration partner. We have had their fullest cooperation and participation in everything that we have organized so far. I would like to now invite the Executive Dean of the School of Social Sciences, Nottingham Trent University, Professor Sarah Owen, to deliver her opening remarks.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody, from a good morning in the UK. So it's an absolute privilege to be invited to say a few words at the start of this seminar on healthy lifestyles and physical inclusion. So greetings to our Malaysian colleagues, and also I understand we have colleagues and students from Indonesia, which is very exciting. So I think we're expanding our reach. From the Nottingham Institute of Education, but also other colleagues from the wider Nottingham Trent community who are extremely interested in the growing success of this seminar series. So this exciting partnership began a few years ago, pre-COVID, when Dr. Chris Rolfe, who is the director of the Nottingham Institute of Education, visited the Ilmu Khas Teacher Training University in Malaysia. And since then, we've had several of these international discourse meetings. And I attended the one that you did a couple of months ago on inclusive education. And the talks were fascinating. And it was such an interesting opportunity to share ideas and hear what colleagues were doing. It was just illuminating and very interesting. Our Malaysian colleagues have presented at our Digest seminars, and we're planning a Malaysia-UK study tour next summer, which again is really exciting after 2 years of just purely meeting online. To actually meet in person will be enormously exciting. So good to move towards more in-person activities as the borders open. We'd all like to do as well more student-focused activity, but the time difference does make things a bit difficult, but we seem to be managing it. So I'm sure at some stage we'll be able to develop more opportunities for our students to join us, because I think they would benefit hugely. So in the future, it would be good to expand the partnerships with other teacher training universities in Malaysia, as the current collaborations have been so rewarding and so productive from both sides. It's really good to have the opportunity to share ideas and good practice and to learn from one another. It's really what working in an academic community is all about. And I think this partnership exemplifies that in spades. So have an incredibly interesting seminar. I'll enjoy catching up with all the presentations online, and I'll hand you back to Dr. Joseph.
Thank you very much, Professor Sarah Owen. It's an absolute pleasure to have you address us this afternoon. The first presenter for today is Mr. Chia Chow Ming. He's a senior lecturer and head of department of the Physical and Health Education Department of IPGKIK. He will be speaking to you about inclusion in sports and physical activities. The title of his presentation is PE for Life, Top Sportsability in Ilmu Khas campus. I would like to now invite Mr. Chia to deliver his presentation.
A very good afternoon to my colleagues in Ilmu Khas campus, and a very good morning to our collaborators in Nottingham Trent University, UK. I am Chia Chow Ming, currently the head of Physical and Health Education Department, and I'll be sharing a session with all of you on PE for Life, Top Sportsability in Ilmu Khas campus. Top Sports Ability was coined by Youth Sports Trust International, UK. However, in Ilmu Khas campus, we name it as PE for Life, SPORTSABILITY. In fact, in other countries, they have their own name for their own version of SPORTSABILITY. SPORTSABILITY workshop is actually designed for those with severe physical, control, or coordination impairments. They are also suitable for those who have vision impairments or severe learning disabilities. However, in Ilmu Khas campus, we introduce it to the physical education trainees, as we found that it is an added value activity which can be done in schools to help those weaker students, although they do not face any disability. SPORTSABILITY will enhance the teaching of learning of physical education, and also in any other related curriculum. It can also be done as an out of school activities, and this will help to create inclusiveness in the school. SPORTSABILITY activities can even be done as an inclusive games festival or even supporting competition. Just like we are conducting an inclusive month under the organization of Special Education Department. In this session, I'll be sharing the SPORTSABILITY in Ilmu Khas campus, on how it started, the inclusion that we conducted for teacher trainees, the collaboration workshop that we had, and how Ilmu Khas campus can move forward. As you can see from the slides, these are some of the pictures of activities that we have done with our trainees. How it started? Well, in 2012, that was the year when the London Olympics started. SPORTSABILITY was introduced to Institute of Teacher Education Lecturers in a workshop through the collaboration of the British Council Malaysia, Youth Sports Trust International, and Teacher Education Division. 7 lecturers from the Ilmu Khas campus were given the opportunity to attend the workshop, and it was further extended in the year 2013. And these lecturers were so committed to the program that they started to implement the workshop for the students in our campus. In 2016, they were invited to the Master Trainers Training course conducted by Mr. Ken Black from UK. By the year 2017, all these 7 lecturers received their Master Trainers certification after conducting their respective training programs successfully. So currently, in the year 2022, we have 4 Master Trainers. There is Dr. Munira Mohsin, who is currently the head of Academic Excellence Department. We have Mr. Ganaradan M. Nararaja, who is a Senior Physical and Health Education Lecturer. We have Mr. Bakaran Arumugam, who is also a Senior Physical and Health Education Lecturer, and including myself. As I mentioned earlier, we have 7. However, 3 of them has already retired from the education profession. So what do we do, or what training did we give to our training teachers throughout these years? As you can see from the table, we have conducted workshops for our training teachers for 5 cohorts of students. And these cohort of students are from the physical education majors, special education majors, which include learning disability, hearing impairment, and visual impairment. So you can see from there the number of trainees that has gone through this course. So what do we do in the workshop that we gave to them? It's a 2-day workshop where day 1, we will introduce the principles of inclusion, the inclusion spectrum framework, which is very important, especially the step adaptation tool, where steps means we will be modifying based on space, the tasks, the equipment, and the people. Then the trainees will be introduced to open activity, where this is an activity where everyone can get involved and perform, including those with disability. That will be followed by modified activity, where we modify certain activities to suit the disabilities so that they will be not left out. They will also be introduced on what does it mean by separate or alternate activity. And last but not least, the disability sports activity. On the second day, we will have a session on inspirational case study, where we will discuss about people with disability who can inspire or who had inspired the population. That will be followed by SPORTSABILITY games, namely the beanbag games, OCHA, goal ball, volleyball, sitting volleyball, and also table cricket. In fact, during these 2 days, the workshop is not only on theory, but more on the practical aspect, where students will learn about the theory and at the same time, they will do the practical so that they have the idea of how top sports ability is carried out and for them to create more activities forward. So, our top sports ability workshop started off with the first cohort of PE students in 2015 with the aim of giving them added value, knowledge and skills as preparation for their first practicum in schools. From there, we found that it was very useful and students can create simple, effective and inclusive activities for all children, although they are not disabled. So basically, when they have their physical activities in school, they are able to create better, more suitable, especially for the weaker students who are in physical activities. And we can see from the faces of these children, they are more involved, they are happy, and they are successful because these activities will make it easier for them. From here, the Physical and Health Education Department decided that the workshop be expanded to the special education majors. As these special education majors, they will be teaching special education pupils in schools. And we found that this will help them a lot, especially when they are teaching physical education to them. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic since 2020, all the workshops that were planned were put on hold, and some trainees didn't manage to attend as time didn't favor them due to their graduation. Apart from giving workshops to the trainees, we also have a collaboration workshop, especially with the Kuala Lumpur State Education Department. So far, we managed to have 2 series that was conducted in March 2019 and August 2020, just before the lockdown due to the pandemic. On our part, we provide our trainers the place of training or workshop and also the equipment. On the Kuala Lumpur State Education Department, they identify the number of teachers from the primary special education schools to attend the workshop. The third series was planned for September 2022, and we hope that this will turn up and it can be conducted successfully. As for the 2 series, we got very good feedback from the trainees, the teachers, and one of the feedback is to conduct the workshop in the school, special school setting, which we will plan to discuss with the State Education Department to identify a school, a special education school, so that we can conduct the activities there and create whatever activities on sports ability to be played by the special education pupils. So what's the way forward for Ilmu Khas campus on top sportsability? Currently, we have 3 cohorts of students, the 2019 cohort, the 2020 cohort, and the 2021 cohort. And we are focusing the workshop for physical education majors and special education majors, namely those majoring in learning disability, hearing impairment, and vision impairment. From the table, you can see that it's quite a big number of students. So, hopefully by May 2022, we will be able to go full steam ahead with the planned workshops for the 3 cohorts, and each session we will conduct for about 2 days with a number of participants between 25 to 30 students. And as I said earlier, we hope that our third collaboration, the third series with the Kuala Lumpur State Education, will be conducted in a special school setting. Further, we will also be conducting a course for special education department in Ilmu Khas campus, especially the lecturers there, so that they have an idea about inclusion spectrum framework, the step adaptation tool, activities that help special children, and how they can impart added value to their teaching and learning of the relevant courses to the trainees. This will also help to identify future sportsability facilitators among the lecturers to collaborate with the current group from the physical and health education department. Top sports ability, in fact, has given opportunities to the trainees to be creative and to be thinking along the lines of inclusiveness using the STEP framework. Last but not least, in the current teacher education curriculum for physical education majors and special education majors, the topic of sports ability has been included as part of the course. As such, this will provide a better coverage for inclusiveness in the teaching of physical education and skills to pupils in the normal and special education schools. It also augurs well with our campus going into an inclusive education institute, with the hope that it will be expanded to more collaboration with schools and other Institute of Teacher Education campuses. The following is a short video of our past few workshops that we conducted with our students. I hope you enjoy it. In summary, P for Life Thoughts Possibility in Timor's campus has been enjoying good support from the management, the trainees, and special education teachers all along. We are proud to say that we are the only Institute of Teacher Education campus that has been providing continuous workshops since we started till today, and will continue to do so as it brings lots of added benefits to future teachers. As a word of thanks, we take this opportunity to express our sincere thank you to our Director, Dr. FARIDAH YAKOB, to the Institute of Teacher Education Malaysia, to Nottingham Trent University, UK, to Mr. Kuruvilla Joseph and his team for organizing this IKIADS, and also to all present in this sharing session. Before I end, I would like to offer to anyone who are interested in this thoughts possibility, and you may contact us through email as stated in the slides. On behalf of my department, we apologize for not being able to go on live because currently we are in Bangkok Island attending an outdoor education camp. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Chia. It started with 7 master trainers. Now it's down to 4. And by August 2022, it'll be down to 2. Okay, the good thing is that with the solid training that you all have provided, this void that you are going to create will be filled by very able students, our trainees. Okay, and another one more thing, as you heard just now, Mr. CHIA actually offered to those who are interested to be a part of this whole SPORTSABILITY workshop. You may get in touch with them. We'll be more than willing to share our expertise and our experience with our partner institutes, namely Ipgm and Nottingham Trent University. Thank you, Mr. CHIA, for the interesting sharing on the inclusive sports workshop conducted by you and your team of dedicated lecturers. It's definitely a step in the right direction to make sports and physical activities inclusive for all. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the second presenter for today is Miss Suzanne Gomezol. She's a senior lecturer at the Institute of Education, Nottingham Trent University, UK. Suzanne will be talking to us about the Healthy Lifestyles Project, which is part of her PhD research. This project is designed to make a positive contribution in tackling children's health in the United Kingdom. It gives me great pleasure to invite Miss Suzanne Gomezol to deliver her presentation.
Hello, my name is Suzanne Gomezol and I'm a senior lecturer at Nottingham Trent University, and today I'm going to talk to you about my PhD project. This presentation is going to describe a multi-pronged programme called the Healthy Lifestyles Project, designed to improve children's lifestyles. It is being created in real time following a cohort of children within a large Nottingham City primary school as they progress from years 1 to 6, which is ages 5 to 11 here in England. Although the shape of the programme is cyclical, based around the same elements each year, the content and various approaches are adapted in light of observations and feedback from the participating pupils, teachers and parents. The design of the HLSP will be justified and some initial findings shared. So what context is my PhD project set within? Childhood obesity has reached epidemic levels in developed countries, with the World Health Organization 2018 describing childhood obesity as one of the most serious public health challenges of the 21st century, where the number of obese and overweight children has increased from 11 million to 124 million in only 4 decades. With those from the poorest areas twice as likely to be obese, Baker 2019. Research has shown that obese children are more likely to become obese adults with serious health consequences linked to obesity, such as heart disease and diabetes. Worryingly, the UK's childhood obesity rates are ranked among the worst in Western Europe, and Public Health England 2017 estimates that over 30,000 deaths are linked to obesity every year, meaning that obesity is now the biggest cause of preventable death rather than smoking. The UK government have been tracking levels of childhood obesity since 2014 through its National Child Measurement Programme, or NCMP, by weighing and measuring over 1 million children in mainstream state-maintained schools in their first and final years of primary school, NCMP 2021. Current statistics show that around 10% of reception children are obese, doubling to over 20% by the time children reach the end of year 6. To begin to tackle childhood obesity, it was essential that I could understand why there was such a gap between different groups in society. Nottinghamshire County is split into 2 authorities, Nottingham City and Nottinghamshire. Nottingham, according to the Index of Multiple Deprivation in the Department for Communities and Local Government 2015 report, is ranked the 8th highest in the country. This means that there are only 7 other local authority districts that have a higher proportion of the 10% most deprived neighbourhoods. The NCMP shows that the statistics for Nottingham are very worrying, as the number of children who leave primary school overweight or obese is nearly 40% based on NHS digital data. As you can see from the map of England, Nottingham is circled in the centre, and as you can see, it is one of the only areas in the country that have the red areas highlighted in terms of its overweight and obesity rates. As you can see from the slide, there are 6 main key reading themes that I've been investigating. The British government has been trying to tackle this issue of childhood obesity for decades, And in the last 20 years alone, we have seen the reintroduction of standards for food and drink served in schools, the publication of the School Food Plan by Dimbleby and Vincent 2013, and most recently the National Food Strategy by Dimbleby 2020 and 2021. As a result of the 2013 School Food Plan, cooking and nutrition became a key focus of the primary design and technology national curriculum in England. In addition, in 2016, the government doubled the school sports funding from 160 million to 320 million per year, which was funded by the soft drinks industry levy or the sugar tax. And they also launched the Healthy Schools Rating Scheme in 2019. However, despite all of these interventions and increase in funding, childhood obesity in England continues to rise, NCMP 2021. Internationally, many interventions have been created and implemented to attempt to address this issue, such as Move and Munch in Australia and the Daily Mile in Scotland, with little success. Surprisingly, in all of the research explored, none of the interventions have focused on teaching the children how to choose, prepare and cook healthy food from a young age. The key issue is energy imbalance. Too many calories going in and not enough activity happening to use them up. This is a very simple explanation behind the increase in childhood obesity. But actually, when you start to look behind why this imbalance has become more of an issue, we start to see the complexity. Why has this imbalance become much more of an issue over the last 30 years? Well, Chief Medical Officer Davies 2019 talks about the many factors behind this change, such as less outdoor play, less walking to school, less screen space, and more electronic device entertainment has led to much more sedentary lives for our children. Ability to hike most street corners, or in fact it can be delivered to your door. We've become more reliant on processed foods, and cooking skills that are our birthright, according to the School Food Plan, are not being passed down to the next generation. There is a lack of understanding of how many calories are in food, along with very persuasive marketing and advertising. As you can see, there are lots of things to consider. People's relationships with food are often complex. There are myriads of factors such as attitudes, beliefs, cultures, education levels and economic status. There is parental lay knowledge to consider, as well as social and physical environments. Food in school has taken on a holistic approach in many good schools, which incorporates breakfast clubs, school dinners that have to meet the national food standards, drinking only water during the school hours, and providing a range of after-school sport clubs. As I mentioned earlier, in July 2019, the government launched the much-awaited Healthy School Rating Scheme, but it was disappointing that it was not mandatory and there was no requirement for schools to provide practical cooking and nutrition sessions to reach the gold standard. Theory and research suggest that when looking at changing behaviour, interventions that have several aims and approaches are more successful. Therefore, when designing the HLSP, a multi-pronged approach was required to address attitudes and behaviours by tackling some of the physiological, environmental and social issues behind childhood obesity. One theoretical framework that the HLSP aligns to closely is the social ecological model, as illustrated, or SEM. The SEM focuses around behavioural changes of self, interpersonal, organisational, community and public policy. By working with the school, parents and the children individually and as a group, this gives the project a strong theoretical framework to influence public policy around cooking and nutrition teaching in primary schools. This is not to say there haven't been any successes in reducing childhood obesity. 3 international programmes that have been successful are the EPODE in France, the JOGG in Holland, and the TCOCT in Denmark. These 3 projects all follow this multi-pronged SEM approach, with the House of Commons Health Committee crediting the level of success down to the fact that all these successful initiatives have adopted a sustained, systematic, joined-up approach rather than separate ad hoc initiatives, either in a community setting or a clinical setting. House of Commons Health Committee 2018, page 9. There have been some successes in the UK too, with Leeds City Council adopting a citywide child obesity strategy in 2008, which looked to tackle the physiological, environmental and social factors linked to childhood obesity, from including healthier snacks in leisure centre vending machines, providing training programmes for parents, promoting active travel campaigns, to providing better school food. As a result, the city's obesity levels dropped by around 0.6%. Lockyer and Spiro 2019. All of the HLSP sessions and teaching and learning resources have been carefully designed in consultation with class teachers, the school gardener, a chef and a nutritionist to ensure that they are appropriate, progressive, high quality and provide accurate health advice. Regular data is collected from the children, parents and teachers through various data collection methods such as food diaries, questionnaires, skill audits and group activities. By reviewing the data collected after each cycle, adaptations that may support and refine the HLSP have been made, increasing its impact. As most changes in behaviour are incremental and that continued and focused effort will be required to keep this lifestyle change occurring, the HLSP was designed to consist of 6 intervention cycles over the 6 years children spent at primary school, targeting the participating children, teachers and parents. This began in 2018 and the longitudinal study explores the impact of the project to see if providing children with practical cooking and nutrition sessions would change their attitudes and behaviours towards healthy eating and ultimately reduce the number of children who became overweight or obese. The project, which aims to make a positive contribution to tackling children's health in the UK and beyond, draws on design and technology pedagogy alongside the theoretical SEM framework to provide the following multi-pronged approach. You can see this on the slide. I'm now going to go through some of the aspects of the HLSP programme, and then on the next few slides we're going to look at a case study of how it actually exists 1 year group at a time, and we're going to have a look at a year 3 or 7-year-old group of children's experience. So we'll start with the practical sessions. The Design and Technology Association, or DATA, recommend a minimum of 1 cooking and nutrition unit per year. The HLSP provides a choice of 2 units, giving class teachers variety, the opportunity to teach more than 1 unit per year, if desired, and offers flexibility around mixed year groups, which happens in a variety of schools in England. In addition, individual lessons are suggested for the other 2 terms to ensure children are receiving practical cooking and nutrition opportunities every term. These sessions teach children the basics of food preparation and cooking in a standard primary classroom without the need for specific cooking facilities, as these are not common in most English primary schools. These practical sessions follow best practice in D&T by using a sequence of investigative and evaluative activities, or IEAs, focus tasks, FTs, and design, make and evaluate assignments, DMEAs. These hands-on sessions are also opportunities to provide support, guidance and training for parents and teachers so that they can learn the correct food preparation techniques to enable them to encourage their children to prepare and cook healthy meals at home. A progressive termly sequence of practical cooking and nutrition lessons has been co-created with Idris Kaldora, the head chef of the Adopt a School programme, founded in 1990. Their vision is that every child learns about food in a holistic sense at an early age and has the confidence to eat well, be healthy and happy. Alongside this, the children get the opportunity to understand where their food comes from by working with the school gardener and a bond from Creative Gardens. Each year, the children get to plant, tend and harvest their own produce. They then prepare, cook and eat the food they've grown in the practical cooking sessions, such as herbs, tomatoes and potatoes. Connecting children with the food on their plate is extremely powerful, and research shows that children are more likely to eat fruit and vegetables if they have grown them themselves. Green and Dunn 2015. To develop the HLSP's interpersonal and community approach, parents are encouraged to volunteer and support Anna as the school food gardens become more and more established and cover a greater proportion of the school grounds. School dinners. Research shows that school dinners are more healthy than packed lunches, School Food Trust 2009, and as a result, the government made school dinners free to all children in Key Stage 1. To encourage more children to continue having school dinners in Key Stage 2, the school showed support for the project by reducing dinner costs for when those children participating in the HLSP started Year 3, when the cost of dinners started to become apparent. Parents receive information each term through the school website via the HLSP tab, which allows parents to access the top tips leaflets, recipe ideas and photos of the children's work to help strengthen the interpersonal and community link between home and school, while sharing messages about healthy lifestyles. The top tips leaflets, created with the support of a nutritionist, combined with annual findings of the HLSP research data gathered with the healthy information lifestyle information, suggest action, healthy recipes and website links. Areas covered include healthy snacks, healthy breakfasts, takeaways and mental well-being. Completing food diaries and surveys annually have given parents a chance to consider the behaviours and attitudes their families have to food and drink and the changes they are making or need to take. As well as gaining useful knowledge, skills and understanding during the termly practical sessions, whole school staff training has been provided to enable all teachers to understand the D&T approach the HLSP uses and the correct food preparation techniques, skills and equipment they will use with their pupils. The school has adopted the project across their long-term planning so that each term a HLSP session or unit is included for all year groups. To enable teachers to deliver these sessions independently after this study finishes, a teacher's toolkit has been created based on the English National Curriculum, with activities and resources tried and tested by the children, parents and teachers. So over the next few slides, we're going to have a look at what that actually looks like for our children. So all of those different aspects, those multi-pronged approach that you've just seen detailed on the last slide, what does that actually look like for one term for one year group? So we're going to have a look at Year 3 autumn term, and their focus is pizza. They're going to design and make a pizza that uses the Eat Well guide to provide a balanced meal. That is called their DMEA. In the spring term, they're going to have an IEA, where they're going to do a geography-focused session, where they're going to do map work looking at contrasting locations, tasting and evaluating food from around the world or a specific location. And in the summer term, they're going to do an FT or a focus task, which is going to be to introduce a sharp knife and a heat source, where they can practice the bridge and claw cutting techniques with adult supervision to make vegetable soup. In terms of the opportunities for gardening, in Year 2 in the summer term, the children planted dwarf tomato plants. They then transferred them into pots and then they took them home to look after over the summer. The children are then asked to bring in their tomatoes from their plants in September, which will then become the base of the pizza tomato sauce. As you can see on the right hand side of the screen, there is a scheme of work within the teacher toolbox to support the teachers. Within that teacher toolbox, it gives a list of the aspects of the D&T national curriculum that particular unit will cover, and it will also identify some cross-curricular opportunities. The teachers then get an overview of the number of sessions. In this particular unit, it was 5 sessions, and as you can see, there is information about what the content will be in each of those 5 sessions, as well as the links to design and technology and those cross-curricular opportunities. Here are some examples from the pizza project, where you've got examples of the sheets the children may complete as part of their design project. We've got photographs of the staff training event where the teachers learnt the bridge and claw technique. We've got a photograph of the children preparing the dough for the base of their pizzas, with a variety of parents coming in to support and to learn these techniques so they can repeat them again at home. And we've also got an example of a page from the top tips leaflet. So now you've got a good understanding of what the project is and how it is delivered in school. We're now going to see how the children are getting on. The project has been running for 3 years, so we are halfway through the project, and these are the initial findings. So first of all, we're going to have a look at some of the increases in terms of behaviour and understanding. So as you can see from the bullet points on the slide, parents' awareness of choosing healthy food has increased, the number of meals being cooked from scratch has increased, the number of children cooking at home has doubled. Children have developed confidence and competence in their own cookery skills. 100% of the children were able to design a healthy meal. On average, children are eating 3 to 4 of their 5 a day. Children were more willing to try different foods, and out of school children are active, doing a range of activities for around about 4.5 hours a week. As well as hoping to change people's behaviour, as the previous slide has shown, we are also hoping to have a positive impact on children's weight. And what we want to see is more children staying a healthy weight as they progress through the 6 years at primary school, bearing in mind that the number doubles normally in terms of the children who are overweight and obese. So if we have a look at the start data compared to the data 3 years on, the blue columns denote the children's weight in October 2018 when they started year 1, and the orange columns represents the data that was collected in July 2001, which is the end of year 3. Positively, 0% of the children are in the underweight category now, and the number of overweight children has halved, and the number of children at a healthy weight has only slightly dropped. However, the number of children who have been categorised as obese or severely obese has increased from 16% at the beginning of year 1 to 27% in year 3. However, as one of my earlier slides showed, it's important that we compare these children against their own particular demographic, which was Nottingham City. We get a very different picture if we compare the HLSP data to the NCMP data collected from reception-age children and year 6 children in Nottingham. We've been able to create a predicted year 3 results for this cohort, and that's represented by the blue columns. The orange columns on this graph are the HLSP children. So using the national statistics that the number of children that are overweight and obese doubles between year 1 and year 6, we are able to predict levels for year 3 children in Nottingham as 39.3%. For my cohort, there has been a moderate increase from 26.2% at the start of year 1 to 32.3% at the end of year 3, which is 7% lower than expected. From these statistics, we can suggest that more children will be a healthy weight by the time they reach the end of year 6 if they have been part of the HLSP. So to conclude, over the 6 years, the HLSP aims to positively impact on lifestyle choices made by the children and their families by supporting the individual, interpersonal, organisational and community, with the ultimate aim of changing public policy so that funding and expectation increases for children to be taught regular cooking and nutrition lessons as part of the statutory curriculum. Although cooking and nutrition is already part of the English National Curriculum 2013, Ofsted July 2019 reported that 75% of schools are not providing this. Likewise, awards such as the government's Healthy School Rating Scheme, DFE 2019, need to require schools to provide both practical cooking and nutrition lessons and a minimum of 2 hours sport per week to be awarded the gold rating, which is currently not the case. I believe that giving both diet and exercise equal status, renaming the school sports premium to the healthy lifestyles premium, and making this a priority area for Ofsted inspections, schools will begin to recognise the key organisational part they have to play in tackling childhood obesity, GOMERSALL 2018. After 3 years, this review of the Healthy Lifestyle Project shows that multi-pronged SEM approaches that draw strength from the community working together can impact on children and their families' attitudes, behaviour and choices to eating healthily and other lifestyle choices. This in turn equips children with the skills, knowledge and understanding around nutrition and the ability and desire to choose, prepare and cook healthy meals now and for the rest of their lives. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. If you've got any questions, then please send them to my email address on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Suzanne, for the interesting presentation. It is indeed a timely reminder to all of us of the importance of healthy living among school children. Your presentation has provided an interesting perspective to all educators here too, as we struggle with childhood obesity in our Malaysian schools. The importance of leading a healthy lifestyle is indeed the cornerstone of a successful education system. Okay, just a reminder, the link for the SPL KPM attendance is found in the chat, and to get the certificate of attendance, the link is also provided there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the final item for the day, right? Which will be the speech by the director of IPG Campus Ilmu Khas. So to conclude, I would like to now invite Dr. FARIDAH binti YAKOB, the newly minted director of the Institute of Teacher Education Ilmu Khas Campus, to deliver her closing remarks.
Good evening to Dr. Rosalie Binyaku, Senior Deputy Rector of Institute of Teacher Education Malaysia, the Deputy Director of Institute of Teacher Education Ilmu Khas Campus, Puan Azlina binti Ahmad, and all those who are following the Ilmu Khas International Academic Discourse Series of better known as IKIADS in Malaysia and Indonesia, and a very good morning to Executive Dean of the School of Social Sciences, Nottingham Trent University, Professor Sarah OWEN, the Director of Nottingham Institute of Education, Dr. Chris Rolfe, and our friends in the UK. As the newly appointed Director of Institute of Teacher Education Ilmu Khas Campus, IPG-KIK, I am truly honoured and privileged to be given the opportunity to say a few words in conjunction with the first edition of IKIADS for the year 2022. Today is a significant day indeed, as it marks the first anniversary of IKIADS, which is both a brand and a platform specially created in 2021 to promote academic discourse at the international level. Thus far, we have had 2 rounds of IKIADS with Nottingham Trent University, United Kingdom in 2021, and from what I have been told, the double events were well received by the education fraternity in both countries. A range of interesting research topics related to inclusive education were shared by lecturers from IPG-KIK and NTU. IPG-KIK is now in the process of finalizing the strategic plan of 2022-2025, which aims to make IPG-KIK a center for inclusive education and an institute with a global reputation in the field of teacher education. Such a feat can only be achieved through consultations and collaborations with established and reputable institutions such as Nottingham Trent University and our other international partners. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a growing teacher education institute which could benefit immensely from some form of professional assistance and advice in areas related to inclusive pedagogy, publications, and research and innovation from established international institutions. Hence, we at IPG-KIK are going to take full advantage of the cordial working relationship that has been built between both institutions to fully realize our institute's #GoGlobal IPG-KIK hashtags, while at the same time offer our assistance expertise and experience for the benefit of your institution too, inshallah. For your information, ladies and gentlemen, the Special Education Department of IPG-KIK has initiated discussion related to possible collaboration activities and programs involving lecturers and students from both institutions with Dr. Lauren Doak and her team. Here, I would like to propose to lecturers and students from both institutions to work together on exchange programs, PLCs, joint research, joint publications, and innovations. You can be rest assured of my fullest support, inshallah. With the theme Healthy Lifestyles and Physical Inclusion, the first presenter, Chia Ming, the head of Department of the Physical and Health Education Department of IPG-KIK, shared with you all some important information related to top sportsability workshops that promote inclusion in physical education and to make sport accessible to all. The second presenter, Ms. Suzanne Gomezol, a senior lecturer in NTU, discussed and presented a program of resources of staff, parents, and children to make a positive contribution to tackling children's health in the UK and beyond. I am sure all of you found the topic presented to be interesting and of course value to you and your organization. On behalf of the Institute, I would like to express my heartiest gratitude to the Senior Deputy Rector, Dr. Rosalie Binyaku, for taking time off his busy schedule to address us in this evening. A special note of thanks also goes out to Professor Sarah OWEN, Dr. Chris Ralph, and his team of dedicated lecturers from NTU who are ever willing to lend a helping hand to our lecturers and students. I would also like to extend a big thank to the presenters of sharing their knowledge, experience, and expertise with all of us just now. Last but not least, I would like to congratulate the organizing team on a job well done. It is my fervent hope that the strategic partnership between IPG-KIK and Nottingham Trent University, UK will be optimized to benefit both parties. To all who joined this event, my utmost gratitude to each and every one of you. Have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.